So there are two things happening, right? Where you have the massive revelation that at some level, and it remains to be seen how much, but at some level, Jeffrey Epstein inspired projects like Poll, inspired radicalizing alt-right materials being disseminated on the internet. The connections between Epstein and then Steve Bannon to things like Gamergate really do seem right now to support the broad suspicion that Epstein had something to do with getting the wheels moving on the modern online alt-right reactionary movement. And that has pissed off that movement so drastically because they have spent, they've spent over a decade now trying to hold up Trump and trying to, fight against the deep state and fight against, like, in so many slurs and so many hate-filled online campaigns, trying to hold the Jews accountable and trying to get them. And then it turns out that they were fucking idiots who were, useful rubes for people in power, which we all knew. But what they are trying to do, because this is how cognitive dissonance works, is because they do not want to take it on the chin that they are all fucking idiots who got had, they are desperately grasping for two things. One, a way to justify the left as having a similar culpability in a similar movement, which people are accusing Ghislaine Maxwell of, which is fucking hilarious. Like, the idea that Reddit, because Ghislaine Maxwell was a mod on some Reddit boards, the idea that Reddit as a whole is as responsible for the current state of American politics as the fucking alt-right coming out of Gamergate is laughable. Anybody who says that shit, you need to laugh at them. Having people so desperately trying to reach out and cover for the fact that in similar ways that they were also useful idiots. For Trump, for the people who've been covering this up for so long. You do not, I need everybody to listen to me when I say this, right? You do not, under any circumstances, gotta hand it to them. It doesn't matter if it's Alex Jones, doesn't matter if it's the QAnon people, because guess what? They were not right at all. The idea is like, well, no, you see, Alex Jones was right because look, he looked at all this. No. All of this, let's look at this really quick. I'm going to pull up some of the conspiracies that we've been seeing. So, in the past few days, if you have been on any degree of social media as these files have been coming out, you have undoubtedly seen so many people getting out their corkboards, drawing parallels, drawing lines between shit that has nothing to do with the verifiable facts and the credible allegations in the files. That's it. And it pisses me off to no end to see so many people out here not just getting boosted and being shared, but credulously. On one hand, we have spent the last decade, I don't understand how people hit this tipping point, where we've spent the last decade listening to all of these dipshits be blatantly wrong. Every conspiracy theorist, there is not the conspiracy theorists were right with this because some rich fucking freaks were out there murdering children. Because guess what? They got every other aspect of every part of their worldview completely incorrect. Like, this is the when Nick Fuentes is criticizing Trump, is that you don't need to give it to him for being able to look outside and be like, oh, the sky is blue. Like, you don't. Because every other thing they say is so self-serving. It serves only to help spread their worldview and their ideological agenda. The people spreading this shit do not care about victims. That's it. The people on social media right now spreading these things, if they are not complete dipshit conspiracy-brained idiots just like Epstein was, then their only interest in this is not seeing people actually brought to justice. It is social media clout. It is more exposure. It is spreading to a new audience. When you see people talking about Epstein email leaks confirm what television shows like the OA and Stranger Things have been telling us for years, when trauma-based mind control fractures someone's psyche, the victim gains psychic abilities. No, it doesn't, actually. It just straight up fucking doesn't. And the amount of conspiracies I have seen in the last couple days, here's what this serves to actually do. Right? Let's look at this, okay? Let's look at it really. Okay, here we go. What prompted your Asperger email? This is him responding to somebody else, where somebody, Gino Yu, I guess, wrote to him, I'm in Paris and was about to write you when it popped up. She is a classic stage 3 in the model. Outlier who is intelligent, was traumatized when she was young, sex abuse, and now gradually coming into her own and becoming self-realized, starting to develop special abilities. This trip, we found a lot of stories like this, have been working with many such people with the model with good success. So, a completely unverified report with no proof. Let's look at the actual facts that we do have. We know that Epstein was obsessed with bizarre, weird, occult type rituals. We know Epstein was obsessed with spreading his genetic data and cloning and hybrid experiments and all of this weird shit. It was largely why he courted like Silicon Valley magnates and shit, right? The people who spread these conspiracies, much like Alex Jones has for decades, they're not serious. They're not. When you see somebody like Alex Jones say, "Oh, Bohemian Grove, I went into a Bohemian Grove in the early 2000s. We caught all this stuff on tape, folks." No, he fucking didn't. Yeah, Bohemian Grove is a real place where a bunch of rich assholes dress up in stupid masks and stupid little outfits and talk about how self-important they are, but that's no different than any fucking given Peter Thiel tech conference, and he'll get on his knees and suck those dudes off any day of the week. The shit that they showed doesn't actually support their claims. When somebody like Alex Jones says, "Oh, we showed all this and this has been all declassified," you look into it, 100 times out of 100, it's fucking bullshit. And the only stuff it serves to do, by embracing these conspiracies, by even giving them a little bit of credulity, the only thing it serves to do is avoid accountability for the things that are right in fucking front of us. The genuine horrors of the Epstein files are not in fucking demons or ghouls or supernatural forces or Jewish Kabbalah or fucking Gnosticism or numeric text or fucking gematria or any of that bullshit. The horror of the Epstein files is that these people still walk unaccountably free in the world after everything they've done. Like when people bring up, again, oh, Stanley Kubrick was killed for Eyes Wide Shut. It's like, no, he fucking wasn't. He was a 70-year-old in terrible fucking health. He wasn't killed because of Eyes Wide Shut. Let's please get back to fucking reality where children are still being trafficked, where people are still suffering, where all of the people, we do not know how many people are dead or buried or assassinated to keep these secrets secret. And the fact that there are so many people out there who are willingly ready to jump on, oh, what if this ties back to something from 20 years ago? What if, didn't this, the John Benet Ramsey case? Like that's what people are like trying to turn every aspect of this into. And in some ways, the Epstein files are kind of perfect. Like they feel like in a lot of horrifying ways, the just desserts of the American experiment. Right? Like it feels like a hell, not necessarily of our as an individual own making, but of America's own making, particularly from the elites, the oligarchs that, rule over us now. And what I say when I mean that is that no matter what happened with the Epstein files, whenever they came out, whatever political climate it was, they would always be a kaleidoscope. One of the dangers about this, and the reason that I bring up these conspiracy theories, is that one of the most dangerous aspects of the Epstein files is going to be not the files themselves, but how we as individuals have been conditioned to receive and disseminate information. How we as people on left, right, center, engage with politics, disengage with politics, every new piece of news that we've had for the last 10, 15 years has to become a cultural war inflection point where we are not able to put aside any differences for the greater good. We must have it make our side look better. And now, when I say it's a kaleidoscope right now, is that we are in a time where there are 1,000 different sides, even within conservatism, even within liberalism or leftism. There are people who are pro-Trump, anti-Israel. There are people who are anti-Israel, pro-Trump. There are people who are pro-both. There are people who are anti-both, all on the conservative side. And that's just two positions, right? Which is where we are now. Is that the files, we have our most comprehensive look yet, and they're still not entirely out. And everybody is taking what they want them to mean and running with that. The people who are out here, for a perfect example, is the dipshits who are like, yeah, didn't you know Zohran Mamdani is obviously fucking Epstein's kid? And here's, if you want a great example of why you can't trust people like Alex Jones, when people are like, oh, I can't believe Alex Jones was right this whole time. It's like, no. Because Alex Jones will jump onto any narrative that is presented to him. That is what Alex Jones has been doing for 30 years. The idea that Alex Jones saw a very obviously AI faked photograph of Zohran Mamdani as a kid with his mom, photoshopped next to Epstein, Bill Gates, and Bill Clinton, and was like, oh, well, this is obviously real, folks. Because Grok said it's true. Fucking A+ journalistic effort there, Alex. And that people are giving credulity to people like that in this moment. If you truly wish to be vigilant, to fight for justice and accountability, you owe it to yourself and everybody around you to speak out against these bullshit narratives that are popping up, because they do not actually help victims. They do not actually help hold people accountable. The only thing conspiracy does right now is obfuscate and hide. It serves to create a detachment and a level of fantasy between the general public and the evil motherfuckers actually behind this. Because if they can look at the mountain of evidence and say, well, yes, but these people are, they're crazy. They believe in aliens. They believe in psychic research. Well, this is obviously untrue. Then they can just gaslight all of this shit away, which is what they fucking want. The reality, the horror, the terror of what has actually happened is tangible. It is something people have felt, literally. It is something that has affected and ruined and changed unknowable and countless lives. It is not a fucking Hollywood movie. There aren't going to be any, and here's where I think the last bastion of cognitive dissonance is for the conservatives still trying to defend Trump. For the people who bought into Q. For the people who bought into all these conspiracies, who cannot accept that they were fucking wrong, that they were stooges and they were used. Is that they are still holding on to this American bullshit idea that it's going to be like an action movie. That at the end of the day, the good guy is going to come swinging in and rescue all the kids. But there is no good guy. There is nobody in a position of power who wants to do that. It is not surprising. Again, if you cover conspiracy, if you've, like I have, researched it, dived deep into the wells of where this shit comes from and how these people operate, it's not surprising that they're using this as an opportunity, but that's what it is. When people are talking about and they're sharing, oh, look at this comet ping pong and Huma Abedin and all this shit, what you have is people who are deliberately obfuscating, again, to fit their ideological worldview. Even today, somebody was sharing around a video that I was like, or an email that I was like, oh, that's obviously fucking faked. It wasn't in the same format as the rest of the emails. And it was just, the subject line was just like a list of liberal politicians, literally everyone that somebody from 10 years ago would have hated. Like Ben Affleck was fucking in there. Stephen Colbert was in there. Stephen Colbert is one that they keep hitting on. Like, the amount of times I've seen people sharing videos that are unsettling, videos that are horrifying. There's the fucking video of the small child with his face painted and a kid is, or a man with like a clown wig is like laughing in his face. That's fucked up. That's weird. That's disturbing. We don't know who that is. There's no reason that I should be able to go onto twitter.com right now and see somebody like Stephen Colbert being accused of being in the Epstein files for being unverifiably in this fucked up video and that getting shared around. Because, like, think of the function that has, for example. Because I've seen that shit. I've seen so much of that shit, particularly from conservative accounts, talking about Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. It's like, okay, I don't give a fuck about them. But they need to maintain a narrative that their guy is still good. Or at the very least, they've gotten to this point where they cannot avoid the culpability Trump has. And they are trying to pivot around it. And that's why you're seeing all of this shit right now. About, Jeffrey Epstein was... Like, now they are trying to... Because Jeffrey Epstein was, I guess, friends with a rich trans surgeon. Now that means that, Jeffrey Epstein is behind the trans craze. It's like, okay, well, what does it say that J.K. Rowling personally invited him multiple times? Like, kind of not relate. Like, no. He was a fucking sick weirdo who saw trans people as disposable. Just like he did with children, just like he did with women, just like he did with everybody else in his life. Like, you can look through the emails he has fetishizing trans women. We're talking with other people about, like, oh, you can do this, and they smell like this, and this, that, and the other. And it's all just the most baseline chaser shit in the world. You're going to tell me that this was the mastermind of the modern queer movement? This is somebody else inserting their fake bullshit. And right now, there are thousands of people who are trying to do that. I cannot express to you how absolutely flooded with fake information it's already becoming. In just the last day or two, the amount of fake videos I've seen of Bill Clinton, of Trump, they're hugging, they're shirtless in bed. Fake videos with Zohran Mamdani and Epstein. And it's obviously fucking fake because they look just like different places or different outfits that we've seen in other videos. But it's the only purpose behind it is to flood the zone and muddy the waters so terribly nobody knows what's true. And this additionally, by the way, this is additionally the problem with every dumb fuck clout chasing room temperature brained dullard who thinks it's, oh, you know what? Epstein files? I'm going to make some memes about this. Epstein files? Yeah, let's meme it out. Let's meme out the fucking Epstein files. Let's make memes about whatever meme page, Rick and Morty fucking, trafficking kids. That'll be funny. That'll get 1,000 likes. And maybe it's just how fucking irony poisoned and brain poisoned a large contingent of Gen Z is, but it doesn't help. These things are not jokes. These things happened. They are not meant to be pointed at and laughed at. That's what they hope you will do. I would say you owe it to yourself, but you owe it at this point to humanity. And I mean this very seriously because that sounds very grandiose, but you owe it to humanity to ignore all of that shit, to put all of that white noise aside. Demand accountability and culpability for the things that are happening here that we can see, that we know about. I'm tired of this men stare at goats bullshit. I'm tired of hearing about fucking MK Ultra and all of this bullshit. Am I saying, by the way, I'm sure I'm going to get people in the comments saying, well, the CIA did this and COINTELPRO this and OSINT this. And like, yeah, I know that. Like, I'm not saying they weren't involved in fucking Mossad or CIA Black Ops or all that shit. Probably were. But we don't need all the black magic, demonic ball worship bullshit. You do not need to. Right now, what you are seeing is 1,000 conspiracy theorists of all stripes. Some of them, a lot of them are Nazis. A lot of them are QAnon. A lot of them have a lot of overlap between the two. Trying to find ways to justify the time that they sunk defending all of this shit. Trying to find some way to shove this new information into the framework that they were already living by. But they can't. The way you need to do that, with the information we begin in is to destroy that framework, to understand how deep, perpetual, and long-lasting this rot is. Because that is the only way we can rip it out at the heart. They want you to forget. The people behind this, just like with Epstein in prison, just like with Ghislaine, they want you to grow numb to it. They want one person to take the fall, or maybe a couple people to take the fall, so that they can remain in their halls of power. And every time you share a AI meme of Epstein and Charlie Kirk as the Avengers, because it's so funny, you are helping them get away with it. Do you think that they care about the victims? I think people have tricked themselves into thinking they care about the victims. Like, the fact that this isn't one of the most, like, number one things right now, the fact that I have seen this less than I have people talking about fucking, oh, they killed Stanley Kubrick for this shit, tells me that, no, people don't actually care about the victims. Because look, there's a victim right there. There's a perpetrator right there. There's somebody who was in front of cameras walking a red carpet less than a fucking week ago right there.